The day began like any other in New York City, with the bustling streets and glowing morning light spilling into the ABC studio. Inside, the familiar rhythm of Live with Kelly and Mark started as cameras rolled and the upbeat theme music played. The audience clapped, excited for another lively morning, but there was an unusual stillness behind the scenes. Kelly Ripa stepped onto the stage, radiant as always, yet something in her presence felt different. Her trademark energy was tinged with vulnerability, and she held her cue cards a little tighter, her hands betraying a small tremor. Mark Consuelos noticed immediately, his expression shifting to quiet concern. They exchanged a brief, unspoken conversation through glances, as if acknowledging that something meaningful was about to happen. The show continued with its usual banter about costumes and headlines, but the air had changed. Something deep, emotional, and unspoken hung over the studio, hinting that the morning would leave a lasting mark on viewers everywhere. Words that stopped time. After the first commercial break, Kelly paused, inhaling slowly as she looked into the camera. The laughter faded, and the studio seemed to hold its collective breath. "There's something I need to share with all of you," she began softly, her voice carrying both warmth and hesitation. The audience quieted instantly, sensing that this wasn't just another segment. Kelly spoke of the years she had spent building the show into a morning ritual, a space that felt like home, and how much the viewers had become part of her life. Her words were honest and intimate, touching on the balance between giving to others and caring for oneself. Mark reached for her hand, his gesture protective and supportive, but she gently shook her head, signaling she needed to continue. Every word felt intentional, every pause filled with reflection, as if she were inviting the world to witness a turning point, a moment of truth shared with grace and courage. A heartfelt goodbye. Kelly's announcement rippled through the studio like a soft wave that quickly grew into a tidal emotion. "I never thought I'd say this on air, but today is my last day on Live," she shared, her voice breaking in places yet steady in its sincerity. Gasps and murmurs echoed from the audience, some covering their mouths, others blinking back tears. Mark sat beside her, visibly processing the reality of the moment, his hand still resting over hers. Kelly spoke of her love for the show and her gratitude to viewers, acknowledging the many mornings spent sharing laughter and stories with countless families. She emphasized that her choice wasn't about fame or money, but about following her heart and prioritizing her own well-being. Every sentence carried a mix of sadness and hope, a delicate reminder that even joyful journeys must sometimes come to a close to make room for new chapters and personal growth. The studio reacts. As Kelly's words settled, the studio audience rose in stunned applause. It was a mixture of reverence, shock, and support, as though everyone understood the gravity of the moment. Cameras captured the quiet, intimate expressions of longtime viewers, some dabbing at tears, others holding their breath in disbelief. The production team remained silent, respecting the raw authenticity of her farewell. There was no scripted farewell, no rehearsed ending, just a human moment unfolding live. Kelly turned to Mark, her voice soft but filled with emotion. "You've been my rock, my partner, my friend," she said, "but even rocks need rest." The applause lingered, heartfelt and resonant, and the studio seemed to vibrate with the energy of shared appreciation. For those watching at home, the moment wasn't just a goodbye. It was a reminder of connection, gratitude, and the beauty of embracing life's transitions with dignity and love. Behind the scenes at ABC inside ABC headquarters, executives and staff were reeling from the unexpected announcement. Calls from journalists flooded the office as producers tried to piece together the situation. No one had been warned, and the abrupt honesty of Kelly's message left even experienced team members speechless. Some questioned whether this was a permanent decision, while others marveled at the courage it took to speak so openly on live television. Mark remained by her side, providing quiet reassurance while the network scrambled to adjust their coverage. The spontaneity of the moment, free from rehearsed scripts or controlled messaging, made it all the more impactful. Staff watched in awe as the significance of the farewell sank in, realizing that they had just witnessed television history, a deeply human moment of vulnerability, authenticity, and connection, reminding everyone present that some decisions, though difficult, are profoundly necessary for personal fulfillment. An insider's perspective. Later that afternoon, insiders close to the production shared context for Kelly's decision. Sources revealed that she had been contemplating leaving for months, quietly reflecting on the need to prioritize her own peace and personal growth. The choice wasn't about ratings or financial gain. It was about life and self-care after years of dedication. Friends and colleagues described Kelly as someone who always gave her all to every aspect of her work, often putting the needs of others before her own. The internal struggle she experienced, balancing love for her audience with a desire for rest, had reached a point where she realized stepping back was essential. Fans watching at home may have felt shock, but the insider details added depth to the story, showing that even the brightest, most enduring stars sometimes need to honor themselves, reminding the world that self-care is not weakness, but a courageous, necessary act. The evening departure. That evening, Kelly and Mark were spotted leaving the studio together, hand in hand. Cameras flashed, reporters called out questions, and the city seemed to pulse with curiosity and anticipation. Kelly smiled softly, answering only with a quiet, "Let's go home," as the couple stepped into the car. The drive through New York's glowing streets felt intimate and reflective, a private moment away from the public's gaze. For millions of viewers replaying the announcement on television, it was a bittersweet reminder that endings carry both sorrow and hope. Kelly's departure wasn't just leaving a job, it was stepping into a space for personal reflection and life beyond the cameras. Fans understood the depth of the gesture, sending messages of love and support across social media, acknowledging that her contributions had shaped mornings, memories, and hearts, leaving an enduring legacy of warmth, laughter, and authenticity. Life after Live. As the night settled, discussions about Kelly's next chapter flourished online and in newsrooms. While the world speculated about future projects, the focus remained on the significance of her choice. Her decision to leave Live with Kelly and Mark reflected a broader lesson about courage, self-respect, and the value of following one's heart. For many, Kelly's departure served as a poignant reminder that even those who seem to have it all sometimes need to step back and care for themselves. Fans continued sharing heartfelt memories, expressing gratitude for the joy she had brought into their lives. It was a moment of reflection, not just for viewers, but for anyone who had learned the power of authenticity, perseverance, and prioritizing personal well-being over public expectation, a true testament to living life with integrity, love, and courage. A legacy of connection. Kelly Ripa's farewell will be remembered not for the shock it caused, but for the heartfelt, human essence of her words and actions. She left a legacy of warmth, laughter, and connection, showing that television can touch hearts when authenticity leads. Mark's quiet support highlighted the strength of partnership and love, adding layers of emotion to an already powerful farewell. Fans will remember her mornings, her laughter, and the small yet profound moments that made the show more than just entertainment. It was about relationships, joy, and shared human experience. As the city lights dimmed that night, the world reflected on the extraordinary impact of someone who gave so much of themselves with sincerity and grace, leaving behind a reminder that endings can be beautiful, full of gratitude, and the beginning of new, meaningful journeys.